Hello. Welcome back to me having to take multiple takes to record the voiceover. This time it's not my fault. Okay, it's kind of my fault because I chose to record this in a basement, which means whenever anyone walks around upstairs, it's super obvious. So let's hope that they are still for the next 8 minutes. So here I'm gonna probably struggle. I'm gonna probably struggle to do the voiceover because, hey, it's not that deep here. This is kind of one of my drawings where it's a little between a sketch and a finished drawing. Like it's very neat compared to some of my sketches, but it's really just a sketch. I didn't go in with like a plan. It evolved as I went. It's not super complex, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about. And time-wise, this took 45 minutes and like maybe 10-15 seconds after that. Probably not even that many seconds after that, but it's a basically 45-minute drawing. And here I am, kind of deciding on the angle because like I wanted more than 3/4 view. I kind of wanted to push it. So you see a little bit of the far eye, but not a whole lot of it, which is a tricky angle with the mouth, I feel. Here I am kind of shading under the jaw because I decided it looks like maybe we could make it kind of suggest that her head is slightly tilted away from us. And so we were seeing a little bit of her under jaw kind of area, but like not fully. So we're doing that, and you might have already noticed that it's not quite obvious because we haven't put the hairline in it. Yeah, there's the hairline. Here I am trying to figure the hair out because I had no plan, and I decided bun. We're putting it in a bun around this period. But you might start being able to kind of notice that if you look at the proportions of her forehead to her kind of eyebrow to nose section to her like lower face area, the nose takes up more space than the other two. And that's on purpose. Like a lot of drawing books, they give you standard proportions, and a lot of people really keep to those. And I feel like those are good reference points for like when you want to make something different, So in this case, I really wanted to emphasize kind of the slope of the nose, and I wanted her to have high eyebrows. Because I feel like that kind of half-lidded high eyebrow look is really like elegant. And I was going for an kind of elegant, by this point in this drawing, the beginning of the drawing I was just going for getting a drawing done, let's be honest. At this point in the drawing I kind of had an idea of this kind of old-fashioned kind of elegance about her. And so I kind of emphasized kind of that section because I feel like, it's a very delicate, I want to find another word than elegant right there. Kind of the slope of the nose in this angle. I chose that just because this kind of face positioning, this angle, I feel like that's really kind of the highlight. Just that you get an interesting view of the nose, which is weird to say because in a lot of art styles, noses are really minimized, but that's kind of what I was going for. It's around this section where I'm like, she's starting to look real, like, late Victorian, Not full Gibson girl. She's not that fashionable, but the everyday version, which I lean into a little bit more later. But here I am kind of just doing a little bit of detail, cleaning stuff up. Because, again, it's in that weird dead zone between sketch and proper drawing. But yeah, here I am cleaning that up because that was just kind of left over from the line. I'm adding very subtle shading. So this whole drawing, I was kind of mimicking drawing on toned paper with like charcoal. Which what I mean by that is later on I'm going to go in with a lighter color that's kind of mimicking white, but not quite white. It's still in the same color family, so it's not a pure white. I'm gonna do highlights. It's kind of what I'm going for here. So, yeah. I'm adding in my shadow so that it kind of pops. And at this phase, I feel like kind of the skin and the background look really, really similar. Like they kind of bleed into each other a little bit, even though you have these lines. But I feel a thing to look for is I feel like when you add the highlights, that really starts to change and pop out. I keep talking about like it's gonna happen any second now. It's been a while. Still futzing. Yeah, adding a little bit more oomph to the hair, a little bit more swooshies, all that. I also wanted the hair up to kind of emphasize that's the same kind of poise that you get with the eyebrows and the nose. It's all just kind of connecting because that's kind of... Because sometimes when you don't know what to do with a drawing, you kind of just like latch onto the quickest thing that comes to you. And I was like, I wanted to do this angle. This is my favorite part of this angle. So here I am kind of leaning in more to the late Victorian, quasi-Edwardian, but probably 1890s, let's be real, here. Which, if I was going to be super historically accurate, this should really be higher on the neck, this collar, most of the time, but I felt like it would be too crowded if I did that. So here I am just kind of detailing in her shirtwaist a little bit. Here I finally got to the highlights. So I'm just very carefully adding them in just to kind of build like volume and emphasis and texture to the skin is really what I'm going for. I'm trying to be very careful. I keep redoing things because I'm trying to use my like most intense highlights very sparingly and do a lot of subtle highlighting. So I'm kind of playing with that. I'm currently emphasizing, the folds of the clothing a little bit. Her buttons get the high highlights because they're shiny, her little buttons. But yeah, we're to the futzing stage where we have most of it down. We're just kind of filling in the details, cleaning stuff up a little bit. Yeah, I decided to highlight this side of her hair just because that's where the light's coming from, and I felt it would add more dimension to the whole image to kind of cut it from the background like that. I started thinking about signing it, but I decided against it because it's a very simple drawing. It's very elegant in that way and like serene and calm, and I just felt like a signature would take away from that. That is a bad move, business-wise, I suppose, to not sign stuff, but I just don't like how signatures look on my art, at least. But I mean, that's mostly just because I don't like my handwriting. Yeah, the struggle never ends. Goodbye.